plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck those socks with the bell on it. Fuck your gay ass very faggot accent. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. So my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you. Look, fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck those socks with the bell on it. Fuck your gay ass very faggot accent. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. So my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
Today is another day after waiting and, finding out how little bit of money that you have after paying bills, because the CIA, gang stalkers, Cesar Augusta, who works for the fucking Mexican cartel, and the CIA, who is probably sitting in his office across the street from me, probably listening with one of those amplifier sound things, and the CIA. This is going to be a talk about money. The thing that the government doesn't want you to have, the thing that the U.S. government has obscene amounts of, and how they utilize me as a child assassin, how they utilize Laurel Aston as a child assassin, and the things that they lead people to believe, and how they just cause wars just because they want to kill everybody. Now, I want you to understand the process of money and how in the United States it came about first as coming from Freemasons. And that's European money that was established by the Knights Templars. When the Templars were established and they were told to go and find the Holy Grail. So they went to war in the Middle East and just started killing all the guys in the Middle East. And finally, one of the guys said, "What the fuck are you guys doing? Why are you here? Why are you warring with us?" And they said, "We're warring and looking for the Holy Grail." And so they said, "Why the fuck didn't you say that in the first place, moron?" Basically. And then the Arabs told them to dig there. But you might not like what you find. Guess what they found? Same thing the Arabs knew. Same reason why they, changed the color of Muhammad. Because in Europe, and the Arabs, who are the first Aryans, and let's get real, Arabs, you fucking know what the Knights Templars found. Nobody's ever done a video and talked about money and the truth. See, what the Knights Templars found out was the heresy that the church was committing. The heresy of worshiping a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus Christ. And they found out his name wasn't even Jesus. They found out he wasn't even white. So then the church found out, they found out the truth, and the church became scared of them. Now, I'll get back to that in a second, but I want you to understand how the church came to power. Now, the church came to power during the time of Constantine. Constantine was a pagan people. And with the people that worshipped and followed the fish, because that was his symbol, it was the fish, because the fish always swims upstream. The truth about the water bearer, the fish, you know, Yeshua Christ, the truth. So the fact is, Constantine was a pagan, and in Rome, the majority of the religion was Hinduism and occultism. Many, many gods. Because Rome had went around to country to country to country to country and taking control of everybody, and realized that we're not going to be able to control everyone if we don't let them do whatever they want religiously. So basically, the Hindus were into sacrificing and having massive orgies and homosexuality, and this became all the rage in Rome. You can fuck anybody. You can fuck little boys. You can fuck little girls. Let's have an orgy. Let's eat food. You know, let's become bulimic. Let's throw up and then eat and then fuck again and do this for days. This was Rome. This was Constantine. So then the fish, the people that followed Yeshua and his teachings, became more and more powerful because of their blasphemous ways. They were heathens. So then Constantine was starting to lose power. And so what did he do? He started the Church of Christianity, where he incorporated paganism and the teachings of the fish, which is Christianity. So people don't want to listen to real history, and it is what it is. And again, this is all about money and control. So I want you to understand, let's go back to the Knights Templars. And who taught the Knights Templars Masonry? The Arabs did. After they dug up the truth and sent a message back to the church, basically, you blasphemous fuckers, we know the truth. So then they were pissed off because they were a bunch of white boys, you know, Englishmen, that were like, okay, Christ number one, you know, blonde-haired, blue eyes. We're going to find somebody that looks like us. But the fact is they didn't. So what they did do is they learned Masonry from the Arabs, and they started practicing homosexuality. And basically they started a protection service from Middle East to Europe, and then from Europe all around Europe. And basically what I mean by a protection service is, at first they would have a Knights Templar ride with rich people, protecting them and their money. And the Templars would set up an outpost, say, in England. And if they were going to England to France, they would have a outpost set up in France with their money. So then that way the money wouldn't need to be transported from England to France. The Templar brought a note with them saying, okay, these guys had this much money, and so when they get to France, they get their money. This was the first form of banking, and it was based on gold and silver. They started this, the Templars. So then the Templars started to figure out, well, we don't have to have money, this much money in this place, in, say, France, and we don't have to have this much money in England, because who's going to know if we don't have their money here or there? So what they started doing was what you call in modern day economy, price fixing. Overcharging people, say, oh, you got, 100 million. That's an obscene amount of money back then, but still. You got 100 million? Okay. You want to go where? Oh, okay. Cool. I need like 5, 10, 15, 20% of that. Because that's a real far place to go. And what are they going to say? No. It's either that or risk losing it all. So then the Templars would say, okay, cool. And they wouldn't even have the money. They might not even have that much money. The fact is, they took the person's money, and then they get a percentage of it, and then he actually has less money than he had before. And the fact of the matter is, what they would do if they had a big sum of money like this, they'd be in France with a Templar, and if they didn't have like the $1 million there, they'd send the Templar with the money that, minus the percentage of the money or whatever, to wherever that person's going, because the person is traveling. They travel slow, they gotta sleep, they gotta eat. A Templar was a warrior, and he could travel fast. So the Templar would take the guy's money, and then send another Templar to the town to where the guy was going, and then basically give him his money back with, minus their percentage. So this is how they first started, seriously. I bet you don't like people knowing this shit, Templars, huh? So basically, they kept doing this, and then they figured out, okay, people are actually going to start taking our money, our paper money, this is the birth of money, in place of gold, and we can just keep the gold with us and tell them that this paper is worth something. And people fell for it. Birth of money. So they started keeping all the gold. So then the English Vatican was already very, very upset, with them, because the English at the time ran the Vatican. The Vatican ran the English at the time. This was before the Templars formed the Jesuits and then took over the Vatican. So everyone was scared of the Templars because they had a secret about Black Jesus. Nobody wants to know the truth. But this is what it was all about. They found out the blonde-haired, blue-eyed man on the crucifix was a blasphemous lie. And the church was willing to go through any extreme to keep that a secret. They can't lose their power. Another thing I want you to remember, people, is that when the church came to power, there were many different sects. And I said sex, not S-E-X, S-E-C-S, sex, you know? So there were many different ones of like druids and basically what we know as nuns. They were virgin druids. They were the original first doctors before the church came to power. Now, I want you to understand what the church did to these women, these holistic healers, these natural healers that lived in commune with earth and away from men, and took a vow of chastity and were the greatest healers on earth at one time. So the church feared anybody that basically had information that didn't coincide with them, that had information that was older than them. So what they did was they hunted this nun sect, and basically this sect, S-E-C-T, sect, not sex. This sect was basically hunted down, and their scrolls that were passed down for hundreds of years through the sisterhood, they were taken into the Vatican. The Vatican still got them, these scrolls. You know what the Vatican did? They said, okay, we're going to take you over. We're going to kill the heads of you that knows your history and that could represent any troubles from us. Take the rest of your younger sisters, and we gonna have nuns now. And we gonna secretly rape you behind closed doors, but we gonna tell everybody that you're virgins because we have your teachings now. The Vatican. So the Knights Templars, the Vatican, you know, the English did the same thing. But they used the French to crucify the Templars. I mean, they were homosexuals and they were heretics anyway. That was easy to prove. I mean, because they didn't start worshiping a black Jesus. They just said, you know, fuck this. We're not going to worship no black man. Let's fuck each other in the ass. That's why you have the two Templars on a horse. So anyway, let's get real. This is about money. Are you starting to get a clear picture of why they don't want me to have money? They don't want people to know this. They don't want people to know the truth. So let's move forward. We already know about the fractional reserve system. It is basically the same shit that the Templars started. Bankers create money out of nothing. They will get a house on false equity that they don't have, and then the person that owns that house will say, oh, okay, you got a bank behind you, then it's cool. So what if they are worth nothing? It's fractional banking. So then the bank gets behind you and says, yeah, we got the money, and don't worry, okay? Just as long as you have the money and our percentage, we're cool. Sound familiar? Same Templar shit. So now you understand how corrupt the world governments and banks really are. It's like that. I mean, they haven't done anything different from the beginning, people. They haven't. They just have computers now and TV to dumb you down. That's all. And once you are able to put 2 and 2 together and see that it makes 4, and you know, hundreds of years ago, if you put 2 and 2 together, it would still make 4. So now you can do it today and understand 2 and 2's, oh, it still makes 4. But they don't want you to see everything like this. They want to create complicated business lingo. They want to create the highly illegal Federal Reserve, which the Federal Reserve is a completely illegal establishment. It was started by the Rothschilds. Now, let's get into my money. Because I want you to know, this is to my family, who I want dead. Yeah, you heard me. My family, who I want fucking dead. Rothschilds, Windsors, it's your fucking cousin. I want you dead. Because of the money that you spend on me to keep me without money. Seriously. I mean, these motherfuckers spend so much money keeping me broke. It's insane. And they're my own fucking family. Now, let me tell you how I'm related to these bastardized, ancestral demons. My grandmother, Miss Ewing, who is married to Tommy Ewing, Sr. Her parents were descendants of Breedloves and Lovejoys. If you don't know about the Breedloves and Lovejoys, they are descended from the original English royal bloodlines that took apprenticeships to come over to the United States to build up the slave trade, because the original English, German, Nazi family that is in power right now basically stole my white family's lineage, which was the Breedloves and Lovejoys, took everything from them, inbred into other bloodlines, and basically stole everything. And they said, okay, well, you ain't got nothing, nigga. White niggers. That's what they were. White niggers. Wiggers. You ain't got nothing, wigger. But hey, I got something that I want to tell you about. How you can become, royals of the new world. You just got to sign your name on the dotted line and your ass belongs to me. Are we cool? So, what else are they supposed to do? Because basically these people raped into their bloodline, killed the rest, and put most of them in jail or God knows whatever. So what was left, they put on an apprenticeship. An apprenticeship is white slavery. My family, the Breedloves and Lovejoys, were the white slaves that said, okay, I'm going to get out of jail. I'm going to get out of this hell, because these motherfuckers came up to my land, these Germans, and now they changed their names to British names, which they're Yiddish names. And they're Germanic. They're not British. They're not English. But people are too stupid to study that because they've killed and paid off everybody. So my family, the Breedloves and Lovejoys, come to America on the boat. They were the first white slaves under apprenticeships for the UK. So they ran the plantations. New Orleans, Texas, you know. But them being slaves and all those hot, sweaty, dark-skinned Olmec Indians, brown and beautiful, glistening in the sun, the women just had to, take a bite of that chocolate. What can I say? So, now you're starting to understand what I'm getting at. My grandmother. My grandmother, Eloise Ewing, she was the daughter of a half Afro, half European breedlove, a half Afro, and a half European Lovejoy. Both sides. That's my grandmother. That's how I have Royal English blood. Now, I'm related to the Rothschilds and Windsors is because the Rothschilds and Windsors raped into that family, and that's how they have their royal lineage. You don't hear anything about the breedloves and lovejoys in history. There is a reason for this. Can you guess? Because they don't want you to know the truth. But for you fucking Freemasons, you know what I'm talking about is the fucking truth. So, let me tell you what the modern breedloves and lovejoys did. Let's talk about Wilbert Jackson. Joe Jackson's brother, my stepfather, Mr. Singer, background singer for Marvin Gaye. I introduced Joe to Quincy Jones and ended up getting, all the Jacksons basically raped, and Joe, joined the Illuminati and whoop whoop. It's basically in a nutshell. Huh? Quincy Jones is a pedophile. Ask Will Smith. That's who turned his ass out. Will Smith was dating his daughter, and he's like, oh, you want to be on Fresh Prince? Really? How bad? Real bad. Okay, bend over, Will. And that was that. So that's Quincy Jones. So getting back to Wilbur Jackson. Wilbur Jackson was taking obscene amounts of money monthly from the breedloves and lovejoys from their bank in Sugarland. How do I know this? Because when I went to California and then came back to Houston when they didn't expect me back, I found a big box of unsigned checks with the breedloves' name on them. What I mean by they were, no amount was filled out. They were signed. Yeah, you heard me. They were signed by them, but no amount was filled out. This is what Wilbur Jackson was to my family. He was a handler. So he was getting paid through the modern breedloves and lovejoys by the English. And with checks that had no fucking amount on them, and they were signed. And there was boxes of them. I'm not kidding. So this is what they did to me. And then after this, I started exposing it and telling people, and nobody would believe me. I ended up living on the streets, becoming a ghost, so they couldn't find me. So I want you to understand the amount of money these people have spent on me, just me, to keep me broke. Because they don't want anybody to know the truth about my bloodline. Now, I want you to understand that my bloodline consists of this. On my mother's side, I was telling you about my father's mother, the breed Love Lovejoy, English royalty. But let's talk about my mother's father, L.B. Davis. R.I.P. grandfather. Thank you. Bless you. He was a Nubian Moor. You hear me, Moors? I want my fucking money. He was a Nubian Moor. Blackfoot Olmec. Nubian Moor. He married Moselle Green. Do you know who Moselle Green is? I do. Moselle Green, Haitian Jamaican. Her bloodline runs back through to the Marleys, Bob Marley. On Rita's side, Rita Marley. That's my mother's mother. See, I want you to understand that I'm the #1 recipient of the Black Reparations lawsuit. The very same lawsuit that they killed Johnny Cochran over. R.I.P. Johnny. The Black Reparations lawsuit consisted of this. Consisted of telling these fucking corporations that are run by the English, Queen of England, the unroyal, sadistic, satanic bitch herself and her thieving fucking family, to give your own fucking relatives their fucking money and quit stalking them. That's why the English set up the CIA, the NSA, MI666. They own all of it. Darpa, they own Darpa. It is all owned by the English. Nothing's owned by America. Americans have stock invested in these companies. That's all. IRS, it is a English establishment started by the Rothschilds to enforce a law from the fucking English to force us to pay tax on our work. And the law doesn't exist. They killed Aaron Sharon because of it. Because he would befriended a fucking bastardized Rockefeller and he made jokes about it. Made jokes about 9/11, so Aaron made a movie about it. So I want you to understand how the fuck I feel when I know if I had like what, $70,000 that Caesar Augusta stole from Laurel Aston. If I had $10,000 of that, what I would do with it and what Laurel would do with it. Because we wouldn't have to go fucking work for these motherfuckers and having this CIA fucking bullshit all around us every single time coming in saying, serve me. No, motherfucker, you are beneath me. Recognize the truth. And I have this motherfucker, Caesar Augusta, right across the street from me. Do you know how bad I want to go over there and just break his fucking neck? No, I'm going to say it. I mean, what would you do to somebody that's been through as much shit as I've been through? And as much shit as Laurel Aston has been through, and this little piece of shit just comes in and just steals from you. And then opens his office right across the street so he can call his mafia buddies and police whenever you fucking leave the house. This is what the English, this is what the CIA, NSA, Mexican government is allowing to happen, and that they are a huge part of. So to the Mexican government, you better clean your shit up or somebody's going to do it for you. You know what the fuck this man did. Take that apartment from him. It's not like the Mexican government doesn't every day go in and take whatever the fuck they want from people. What, the cartel does it? You allow the cartel to do the shit, but you can't do the shit? How much is that apartment worth, huh? Honestly. And he's sitting his ass there. Oh, it belongs to his dad. I don't give a fuck. His dad is just as guilty as him. I want you to understand how pissed off I am and how sick of this shit I am of all of it. I mean, literally, every minute, every fucking day, you know. And then I just had to pay like bills. And my jacked up like $2 million electricity bill. Because of Darpa and the NSA can't fucking stop microwaving my house and jacking up my electric bill. They just can't stop. And then they gotta pay a motherfucker to pay the cops to fuck with me and to steal my money, and then to pay the cops to keep enforcing this shit. I want you to get a good, clear fucking picture of how evil every single one of them are. I mean, truly fucking evil. There's nothing else to say other than the epitome of fucking evil. If you're involved in this, I hope you get a bullet really quick. You and your whole fucking family, because you're eating and you're driving and you're partying off my suffering, off the suffering of and the backs of so many innocent. That's how they live. It is like this. There's no other way it is. And that's the honest to God truth. They've been stealing from Americans, real sovereign Americans like me, and then they set up NSA, CIA, Darpa, and all this other shit to gang stalk us because they owe us money. They're our own fucking family. Now you can see why I want my family, my English relatives, my cousins dead. I mean, what else would you say to a family member to do shit like this and thinks, oh, he's the big mafia man? You know, let me go and sprinkle a couple of grand down here to keep him broke. I've already spent millions and millions and millions of dollars, and then, you know, use fucking time travel and then put him under mind control and utilize him as a child assassin and had him make fucking millions for us. And then he doesn't get a dime of it. Same shit with Laurel Aston. I'm so sick of all these motherfuckers. I got a machete. I really just want to go and kick in his door and chop his fucking head off. But I'm not going to do it. But I can say I want to do it. I mean, what else would you say, you know, when you get in a mind state where you're like running out of money and this motherfucker's sitting over across the street knowing because he took money just like my stepfather took money, you know, to keep tabs on me and to keep me broke. Just like Cliff, my whole fucking life. And this motherfucker thinks it's something new. I swear next time I see him, I'm going to beat the shit out of him. I don't give a fuck if cops come or whatever. I'm going to literally beat the shit out of him. I mean, he wants to know how enraged I am. I mean, somebody please kill this man before I beat the shit out of him. I mean, what else are you supposed to say? He ain't going to give me the money back. He probably, you know, spent it or has it hidden somewhere. But I mean, what do you say to somebody that steals 70 grand from you? So again, you know, it's about money. And what they do for money. And how they take a little bit of money and they have no idea what they got themselves into. Well, I'm sure he does now. And yeah, I'm going to put this online. I don't give a fuck. What the fuck would you say? And if he ends up dead, what? I didn't do it. Yeah, I verse many times that I want to fucking do it. I mean, I think about killing that man every fucking day. Every minute. That I don't have my money. Him, and I wish somebody would kill his whole goddamn family. So people like him don't exist. Ever. Nowhere. Because if people like him didn't exist, they couldn't function. They would have to come down and pay the cops themselves. They would have to come down off their ivory tower and do it themselves. People like him make me sick. Because when the world depopulation and all that shit goes down, dude, your family's dead anyway. Do you think they give a fuck about you or your fucking family? I mean, these people are so stupid. Literally. Because when D-Day gets here, and I will survive it, I can guarantee you that. But these other dumbass wicked people that, you know, got what, they don't give a fuck about them. And they may think, oh, I got some power and I'm down with this person's going to protect me. Man, the person that's protecting you, protecting that person, they're all dead. They're all low-life, scum of the earth fucking drug dealers. And so what if you married a fucking Nazi bitch? There's a reason why you married this Nazi bitch. Because the Nazis think that, you know, she wasn't worth being good enough to be bred with them. So they're going to let her go breed with a low-life Mexican. Let's be real. So, I mean, this is how these guys get these power things in their head. When the fact of the matter is, if you're a Mexican, it's like the Bushes. There's Mexican Bushes. To all you stupid Mexican Bushes, let me tell you why you were created. Votes. That's all. And you already served your purpose. Because Bush used you to become governor. That's all. Now he doesn't need Mexican votes. They've already fixed all the other shit. But when Bush Jr. became, governor of Texas, he needed Mexican votes. So they pre-planned and said, go get you some Mexican pussy. You like that pussy? That's some good pussy, wasn't it? Have a few kids. All right. The Bush Mexicans. That is the head of the Mexican cartel now. What? You think I didn't know that? You think I don't know who's the head of the Mexican cartel is? It's the Mexican Bushes. But honestly, they don't give a fuck about the Mexicans. They don't. Because when the shit goes down on them, what? They go, oh, Essay, come on, bring your kids. Bring all 30 of them. Fuck no. It's fucking stupid. So anyway, pissed off, almost broke, very, very, very upset because there are things that I need. Like a new fucking life where I have money. And I'm sick and tired of people stealing from me. Caesar Augusta. If you or your family is still alive, I suggest you bring me my money. Because if you don't, I'm sure there's going to be somebody, either a government agency or a hitman, that's going to take all your shit and going to get a lot more than 70 grand and probably drop me off my 70 grand. That's it. You can be a smart man and end this and give me my fucking money, or you can be a dead man and have nothing. You and your whole fucking family. I mean, what else are you supposed to say when you're somebody in my state in Mexico? Huh? I'm keeping it real, motherfuckers. Anyway, peace.
Fuck you, fuck the plane you flew in on, fuck them shoes, fuck the socks with the bell on it, fuck your gay ass fairy faggot accent, fuck them cheap ass cigars, fuck your yuck mouth teeth, fuck your hairpiece, fuck your chocolate, fuck Guy Ritchie, fuck Prince William, fuck the Queen. This is America, but my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room, and if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you. Look, fuck you, fuck the plane you flew in on, fuck them shoes, fuck your socks with the bell on it, fuck your gay ass fairy faggot accent, fuck them cheap ass cigars, fuck your yuck mouth teeth, fuck your hairpiece, fuck your chocolate, fuck Guy Ritchie, fuck Prince William, fuck the Queen. This is America, but my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room, and if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you. Look, fuck you, fuck the plane you flew in on, fuck them shoes, fuck your socks with the bell on it, fuck your gay ass fairy faggot accent, fuck them cheap ass cigars, fuck your yuck mouth teeth, fuck your hairpiece, fuck your chocolate, fuck Guy Ritchie, fuck Prince William, fuck the Queen. This is America, but my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room, and if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
Get down.